Toys and Game Comic Book Collector Investor. Amazing Fancy 15 CGC took the top 2 spot this week. Welcome to Top 10 High CGC Comic Books sold on eBay, August 16 to 22nd. Coming number 10, we have Detective Comic issue 359, CGC 9.2. This is the Boston Pedigree book. First appearance of the Batgirl. You can tell it's kind of like a gold label right there. And the asking price was $9,755, but it's actually sold for $8,000. So let's take a look at Go Collect. This is 9.2. Unfortunately, they don't have like a pedigree right here, but you can tell this was the one that was just sold on eBay right here, and then $8,000 right here, and then this is a blue label sold for as high as $9,600, and on that 1 year high 8,000, low 6,000. So, and this is the pedigree book though. So, and over here, the one that sold for 9,600 was back in August of 2023. Coming number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle issue 1, first print. First appearance of the 4 turtles right there. Produced by Mirage Studio. This one came in 1984. Grade CG 7.0. 2 people bid on it, and the final auction price was $9,600. So let's take a look at the let's go to Heritage. Wait, Heritage with a 7.0 right here. And then this book sold as high as $15,600. So that is a drop of $6,000. This is back in November 2020. And then let's go over here. We have now 7.0 right here. And then this one sold for $10,800 back in September 2023. And then let's do one more right here. And we have one sold for $8,700 back in October 2024. Coming number 8, Mason Man issue 1, CZ 4.0, produced by Marvel Comics back in 1963. We got the first ongoing Spider-Man title, Fantastic Four crossover, and first appearance J. Jonah Jameson. Asking price was $11,000, but it's actually sold for $10,250. So let's go over to Go Collect. Go Collect, we have 4.0 right here. And then we have this book sold as high as $18,600. So that's a decrease of $8,350. And the high, I can go like $10,000. So that's pretty much close to what was sold on eBay. High $11,000. And then low $8,400 right here. And let's go over here. And $8,600 was back in April of 2022. Coming number 7, John's X-Men issue 1, first new team of the X-Men. This one came in 1975, Stanley signature, rated CGC at 9.6, and we got a label right there. Asking price was $11,899, but it's actually sold for $10,750. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Go Collect. Signature 9.6 right here, and unfortunately not too many data right here. So let's go over here. This is the one that was just sold on eBay, and then last sold price was $9,000, and then we have the high this one sold was $20,040, so that is a drop of $9,290, and this is back in February 2022. Coming number 6, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle issue 1, first print, first appearance on the 4 Turtles, produced by Mirage Studio back in 1984. Grade season 7.5. Asking price was $11,500, and best offer was accepted. Unfortunately, this just happened yesterday, so I guess it haven't been updated on some of these websites. But there was one that was sold, that was a 7.5 right here, and then you go across. There was one that was sold for 10,500, probably around that price, and you go across, and this was back in June, uh, to about 2 months ago, 10,500 there. Yeah, probably around that price. Come number 5, Absolute Batman 1/8 cover for print, CGC Signature Series 9.9, signed by Snyder Dragola, top pop 2. Asking price was about 17,500, but that's sold for 11,500. So let's take a look at this book right here. Okay, Absolute Batman, signed by Nick Dragola. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying his name correctly. Back in January of 2026, and then 1 month later, got Scott Snyder signed on February 26, 2026. 9.9 million pages. There you go, right here. Here's the two creators right here. Number 4, Incredible Hulk issue 181, Grade C 9.4, Near Mint, West Wolverine. This one came in 1974, white pages. Asking and sold price was 11,500. So let's take a look at GPA. Okay, let's go up here. 9.4 right here. We have 2024 average, 2025 average, 12-month average, 9-day average, and this was the one that was just sold on eBay. And then the highs this book sold for was 22,800. So that's a decrease of 11,300. And then in 2026, 17 was reported, and the high 11,500, and low 7,930, average 9,652. And then the one that was sold for 22,800, one happened 2022, and then one happened 2021. Come number 3, Bone issue 1, grade C 9.8, white pages, first print, first appearance of a couple characters right here. And then the auction price was $12,657.69 with 34 bits right here. So let's go over to Heritage. Heritage right here, we have a 9.8 right here. And then this book sold as high as $15,000. So that's a decrease of $2,342 back in September 2023 right here. And then we have 9.8 right here. One sold for this one sold for $13,200 back in November 2020. And then we have one sold for $12,000 back in November 2022. And then we have one sold for $10,800 back in September 2025 there. Coming number 2, Amazing Fantasy 15, grade CZ 1.5, produced by Marvel Comics back in 1962. Obviously, first appearance of Spider-Man right here. Final auction price was $14,127.87 with 42 bids. But you might want to be careful right here. This person have 2 feedbacks, and it's 75% positive there. So let's go over to Heritage. We have a 1.5 right here, and then this book sold side 22,800. So that's a decrease of $8,672. This is back in February 2022. And then we do one right here. We have one sold for 21,840 back in June of 2024 there. Come number 1 for this week, Amazing Fantasy again. Okay, and this is 2.5 right here. And the final auction price was $22,000 with 61 bids. And you also want to take a look at the seller. Seller had 100% positive feedback, but only 11 total feedbacks there. All right, so let's go over the heritage. Our heritage, we have 2.5 right here, and then this book sold high 38,400. So that's a drop of $16,400. This is back in November 2021. And then let's do one right here. One sold for 37,200 back in July 2022. And then let's do one more right here. And we have one sold for 37,200 also back in November 2021. Well, thank you for watching. Enjoy the content. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.